say the name of the police force?
Devon and Cornwall.
So that's Devon and Cornwall Police, is that right?
Yes.
Wake up and nothing's wrong. Just get ready for work.
Right, but what I would suggest is we really do need to get that recording because that is potentially quite serious.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
All right. I'll pop you through now. Like I say, just pop it on speakerphone, keep an ear on it, and we'll be with you as soon as we can do.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you very
All right.
much.
Thanks,
Right,
Em.
cheers, thanks,
Cheers.
bye.
Bye.
So I wasn't actually going to report this. However, loads of people said to me that this is quite a serious crime and I should report it. And it wasn't until I started speaking to other people that I really realised the seriousness of this. I'm not sure whether it's sort of a personal thing or whether somebody's just going around and messing with people's cars for fun. However, it's not funny, and like everybody else has said, it's kind of going to put me in quite a bit of danger. Right, so whilst I'm on hold, obviously they're saying it's going to be over an hour, so I will just explain to you guys what is going on. So a couple of days ago now, it would have been Friday the 10th of May, I drove home from work. I took my manager home, I dropped him back, he only lives down the road from me, and then I parked up outside my house and I aired out, left my car there until 8 o'clock the next morning. Now I want to point out that I drove my car home, there was absolutely no issues with it at all. I drove it home all fine and I went about my evening. So I come out to my car on Saturday the 11th and I drive my car to work, so this is about 8:15 in the morning. And I can hear sort of like a noise and I just wasn't sure what it was, but I didn't think anything of it. I just drove straight to work, parked up and just didn't think anything of it. I thought, oh, there's just something like catching on the wheel, or maybe the tyre's slightly flat, so you know when you have quite a flat tyre you can sort of hear a thudding. So that's just what I thought it was. So I thought, oh, it's fine, I'll pop to Sainsbury's on my way home and I'll just pump up my tyre, no biggie. So I finished work at 4 o'clock on the Saturday and I come out to my car and I'm driving down the road and this noise is getting worse. So I'm thinking, right, I have got to go to Sainsbury's. Luckily there's a Sainsbury's about 5 minutes from my work, probably not even that. So I'm driving to Sainsbury's and this noise is getting horrendous. I'm thinking, oh my god, my wheel is completely flat. So I pull over before I get to Sainsbury's. I get out and I look at my wheel, so it's the front passenger side, and the wheel is absolutely fine. There is nothing wrong with the tyre's pumped up, you can press on the tyre and you can see that it's absolutely fine. I was thinking, that's really, really weird. But I didn't look at it too much. I still went to Sainsbury's. I thought, do you know what, sometimes tyres can be deceiving. I'll go there and I will just check my tyre anyway. So I get to Sainsbury's and I pump up my tyre, absolutely fine. And then I ring my boyfriend and I say, look, this noise is here. I don't know what it is. My tyre is absolutely fine. What should I do? And he said, we'll go round and just check all of the tyres, make sure it's not another one. And as I'm looking around the tyres, I noticed that in the front passenger side, there's a bolt missing. I was like, that's really weird. I would think if a bolt just fell out whilst I was driving that I would hear it. So he's like, right, don't move, I'll be there in a minute. He comes down and he goes to check all the other bolts, and all of the bolts in that wheel are loose. And at this point I'm thinking, that's really weird, like why would they work themselves loose? Like this just doesn't make sense. So he tightens up all the bolts. Obviously I get home fine and I just start thinking about it and I think, wow, it literally looks like somebody has tried to steal my wheel, realised that they can't because obviously my car's aired out and you just can't get the wheel out from the arch, you can't get a jack under the car when the car's aired out. So it looks like they got halfway through and they had to stop because they couldn't get the wheel for whatever reason. They didn't tighten up the bolts and they took one of them. And that's the conclusion that I came to. I didn't think too much of it. I had a little bit of a rant on Instagram and on Twitter, and I was just saying, like, what a stupid, idiotic thing to do. If I carried on driving, because that evening I was supposed to be going out, I would have got on a motorway. I would have had a friend and my dog in the car. If my wheel had fallen off, that could have caused a very bad accident and I could have been in a lot of trouble. I let it go, I had my rant and I let it go. everybody was saying to me, oh, you need to report it to the police, like it could happen to other people. It could be, you know, somebody coming at you that's trying to cause you harm. I was thinking, no, it's fine, like I'll just try and I'll just let it go. Like, someone's obviously playing silly games and I'll let them do it. A very good point that I didn't point out to begin with. My car was parked in the road that night. So where my car is parked as we speak now. The following 2 nights, so the Saturday night and the Sunday night, I left my car in the driveway because there was space in the driveway. We've got 4 or 5 cars at our house at a time, so there's not always space in the driveway. But those 2 nights I made sure that my car was there and nothing happened. I drove probably about 80 miles in the whole time over that weekend, so the Saturday and the Sunday, and I had no problems whatsoever. My car was fine, it was running okay with just the 1 bolt. But yeah, like I said, I drove around and there was no issues whatsoever. Sunday night comes and I leave my car at home because I didn't want to drive it half an hour up the road to where me and Elliot were going. We were going to visit my mum on Sunday night. I left my car at home, we took Elliot's, and I left my car parked in the road because there was no space in the driveway at the time. I got home from my mum's really late, probably about 11:30, and I, to be honest, just could not be bothered to move my car. I could not be bothered to go and put it in the driveway because it meant I had to wait for my tank to fill up with air, and then I had to air it up, and then I had to drive it, and then I had to air it out, and it was just too much effort to do at 11:30 at night. So I left it in the road. Obviously it was all locked up and everything. Monday morning, and I drive my car to work, and I can hear the thudding noise again on the way. And I'm thinking, no, this is just in my head, I'm being paranoid, this couldn't have happened again. Like, there's no way this could happen again. So I get to work, and it's got pretty bad by the time I'm at work. And bearing in mind, I literally live less than 5 minutes away from my work, so it's not that far of a drive. So I texted Elliot, my boyfriend, and I said to him, can you just pop by where my car's parked and just check my bolts for me, just check that they haven't worked themselves loose, or, you know, somebody hasn't loosened them, and make sure they're all okay. About half an hour later, he sends me a picture of my wheel, and there is now 2 bolts missing and the other 3 bolts are loose. Now at this point I'm thinking, this isn't just a coincidence. There is nothing about this. It is so unlikely that they would be working themselves loose like this, and I wouldn't have heard the bolt fly off. Now, I drove my car home on the Sunday and I parked it up and there was no noise at all. It was absolutely fine. Yeah, I drive to work on the Monday morning, the night that I've left my car in the road, and I can hear the noise again. So something has happened in the time that it's been parked up outside my house in the road. There is not one part of me that thinks that somebody isn't doing this. Now, when I got home on Monday night, so that was last night, me and Elliot went out, we bought a jack, a low jack, and we got my car up. We took the wheel off, checked all the wheel was fine. We checked all the threads of the bolts were fine. There was no way they should be working themselves loose. The hub was fine. My mechanic friend checked everything. He torqued up the wheels to spec. We took it for a drive. The bolts were not loosening themselves. I have driven to work and back, and the same journey that I've been doing when the problems started before, and these bolts have not loosened themselves. So I've currently got 4 bolts in either side, just because that was the safest thing to do. Obviously I've got to get to work and back, I've got people to see, places to go. Like, it can't just be a coincidence that this has happened both times my car has been parked in the road. Nothing happened when my car was parked in the driveway. Now, last night, Elliot's mum wasn't home, so I had her space in the driveway, and I set up a camera to point out of the window. Now, I haven't actually looked through the footage yet. However, when I come out to my car this morning, all of the bolts were fine. None of them have been loosened, none of them have been removed. But my car was parked on the driveway, right out the front, with a camera pointing at it. And I'm pretty sure the camera was quite obviously in the window. However, tonight, and nobody knows this, I haven't spoken to anybody, obviously I'm not trying to put it out there that I've got cameras. I've said to literally everyone that I haven't got cameras. Obviously the person doing this either has driven past my car a couple of times and just is intrigued and is doing this for some kind of fun, or they know me, they know obviously where I live, they probably follow me on social medias, and they have some kind of a vengeance, and for whatever reason they're trying to hurt me, scare me, I don't know. For that reason, I have not told anybody that I've got cameras. Now, either this person is going to be stupid enough to come back and touch my car again, or they're going to completely leave it. As soon as I find out who it is, all of you guys are going to know it too. Maybe I'm being dramatic. Maybe I'm being dramatic. Right now, I am absolutely petrified. I am expecting to wake up and see somebody has chucked paint stripper over my car, to see somebody's keyed it. But that's the other thing I don't understand. If you don't like me and you want to make a point, why wouldn't you key my car? Why wouldn't you throw paint stripper over it? Why wouldn't you do something else? I just don't understand why you would put me in some kind of danger with the chance of my wheel falling off. You've got to really, really hate me. But I just wanted it to be logged, because if something does happen, either this happens again, or I get into an accident where my wheel falls off, or, you know, somebody comes along and keys my car, at least it's logged, at least there's a paper trail of it.
It's not your fault at all. I would expect somebody to do that sort of thing.
Yeah, it's a little bit weird.
It's very dangerous, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's dangerous. If nothing else, your wheel comes off, you're in real trouble.
Yeah, that's what's kind of scared me, really, is obviously I don't know whether they're going to come along and do all of the wheels, because obviously it's just been this one wheel.
Okay, it sounds quite bad. I'll just take some details and I'll create a crime report for you.
Of course, brilliant.
So what's the postcode of the address?
It's...
Yeah, okay. Well, somebody should be in touch with you within the next 72 hours, okay?
Okay, that's brilliant. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye,
Right,
Sophie.
cheers, thanks, bye-bye. Do you know what? Even if I don't find out who it is, I just want some camera proof that it's somebody doing this, because half of you people are telling me that I'm crazy, that it's the car doing it, and half of you are telling me that somebody's out there trying to mess with me. Luckily, the camera that I've got is really good. I'll actually be able to show you. Okay, so the camera, I connected it up, so it's got to be plugged in at all times, and then you can download an app and connect it to your phone. So this is what I can see currently. So obviously my car is here and I'm sat in it, but you can zoom in quite far and the picture isn't awful, it's pretty good. So even if I can just, like I said, catch someone doing it, I will update you guys in a couple of days when I have got some footage, or I've got some more of an update, and then I'll just put this video out. So okay, so I wanted to give a little bit of an update before I end this video. I was just in the middle of editing and I thought that I would pop this in the end just to sort of clear up everything that's been going on. But I recorded these videos, the video I just edited, about 2 weeks ago now. So it's been 2 weeks since this happened, and since then nothing else has happened to my car. Now, I've had 2 cameras set up from the house onto the car, so one on the driveway and one onto where my car is parked in the road, so no matter where it's parked, it's always on camera. I'm being very vigilant, checking over my car every day and seeing if anything's changing, but yes, nothing yet. A lot of people have said to me in the past sort of 2 weeks or so that they don't believe that anybody was ever actually doing it to my car at all. They think that it was something wrong with the car, the hub, something to do with the hub, was making the bolts come loose. And I've had quite a few people say that to me. They've said, oh, you're being too dramatic, you're trying to put this all on yourself, like nothing actually happened, there's something wrong with the car. So I just wanted to clear that up. So I've been driving the car around, Elliot's been driving the car around for the past 2 weeks, and the bolts have not undone once. They have been completely fine. I've checked them on multiple occasions and they have stayed just as tight. Nothing wrong with them. If anything, I've driven the car more in the past 2 weeks than what I did before when it was all happening. So surely if something was wrong with the car, I would have seen it at least once in those 2 weeks, but I haven't. Obviously people can have different opinions. They can think that I am just being over dramatic and that it is something wrong with the car, and that's fine if that's what you want to think, but all of my facts sort of point towards it being somebody doing it. So anyway, I am going to end this video here. I did this video because lots of people have been asking what is happening, especially over when I was posting it on Instagram and stuff. Loads of people were asking me what was going on. So I thought instead of me telling everybody individually, I would just make a video about it. So here it is. Thank you guys very much for watching. If anything else happens, I will keep you guys updated. Hopefully nothing does, but if I do catch any camera evidence or anything of anybody tampering with my car, I will let you guys know first. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.
Wake up and nothing's wrong. Just get ready for work.